Okay, Andrew, I think you're up first,
that's
my
right,
friend.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MTO yard here in Cottam. Today's a great day for the people of Windsor and Essex County. Last year, our government said it would get it done for the people of Essex County and to twin Highway 3 mere steps away from here. This is a project that died from the neglect and inaction of the previous government. And it announced transformational planning for an interchange at Highway 401 and Lozon Parkway. Right here, we made that announcement right here last year. That work is not over. Today, I'm proud to stand here with Premier Ford, Mr. Bethlenfalvy, and Mr. Cercaria with a new announcement. It is transformative. It will unlock housing and grow our economy and end a traffic mess in the heart of Windsor-Tecumseh that we've endured for nearly 4 decades. Because we believe that when highway capacity is failing, you don't walk away, say we already have what we need, and then withdraw funding. And we also believe in an energy supply of all kinds so that housing, jobs, and even delicious Essex County grown food can thrive. Government investments in transformational economic development projects like Nexstar can't be successful without commitments to public infrastructure. That's why this government is delivering once again on its legacy for Windsor-Tecumseh and for Essex County, and I couldn't be happier for it on behalf of the people of our region. Premier, ministers, thank you for your support for our region once again with today's truly transformational announcement. I'd like to cede the podium now to an incredible champion for the people of Kingsville, Mayor Dennis Rogers. Mayor, the floor is yours.
Morning. Welcome to Kingsville. I got to thank the Premier, the ministers, all these dignitaries today, as we celebrate, a big day. We sat on this exact spot last year announcing the expansion. You flash forward to today and the shovels are in the ground. So I got to thank Premier Ford and his government for their investment in expediting that promise so quickly. But we're not just expanding a road, we're increasing opportunity and confidence. That's opportunity for moms and dads to get home from their jobs quicker, safer. It's an opportunity for our local businesses and our industries to expand and put more of their product on the road to their customers. Confidence. So about 8,000 of Kingsville's residents are 60 plus. I had a conversation with Mary, 66-year-old resident, Kingsville resident, lived there her whole life. Last year, after this last expansion, was the first time in 10 years that she took Highway 3 to visit her sister in Essex. This road is going to instill confidence in our young people that travel from all of our communities to visit St. Clair College, University of Windsor, into Michigan for their education and their studies. The opportunity and confidence and the value that we're going to get from this can't be measured. And I want to thank the province for their investment. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Rogers, for that. It's a pleasure to be alongside local leaders like Mayor Dilkins, Mayor McNaira, and Deputy Mayor Shepley as well as my colleagues, a huge champion for the area, MPP Dowie, who is a strong voice for Windsor-Tecumseh, and of course, Minister Bethlenfalvy, and of course, the Premier, who is doing so much work to build our great province across Ontario. In the last election, our government was given a historic mandate by the people of Ontario to build new roads and infrastructure in every corner of our province. From generational projects like the Highway 413 and the Bradford Bypass, to the largest expansion of public transit in Canadian history. Under the leadership of Premier Ford, we are tackling gridlock, creating the conditions that will drive economic growth and investing in good jobs in every community, like right here in southwestern Ontario. As someone who has spent far too much time in gridlock, I understand how important it is to get drivers where they need to go when they need to get there. Each minute spent waiting in a car is time that could be spent with family or friends. Each transport truck idling in gridlock is a missed opportunity to grow our economy for the next generation. As we stand here today, the Nextart Energy Plant is a prime example of how our government is building the critical infrastructure we need for a better Ontario. Working together with all levels of government, we're finding a common ground on the issues that matter to get it done. With that, I would now like to turn it over to Minister Bethlenfalvy. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Minister Sakarian. It's great to be here in beautiful, sunny Tecumseh in the Windsor-Essex County region, the mayors and MPP Dowie. Great to be with you. You know, folks, for too long, previous governments left Ontario underfunded, underbuilt, and unprepared. They failed to build the roads, the hospitals, the homes, and infrastructure that our growing communities need. Our government was elected to fix those problems under the leadership of Premier Ford. Ontario is a happening place. Record population growth, record job creation, and record investments in our manufacturing sector are proof of Ontario's bright future. And our government is the only one with a plan to build the infrastructure that communities like Windsor need. I look forward to sharing more on our government's plan to build on March 26th when I introduce Ontario's 2024 budget. But until then, it is my distinct honor and privilege and pleasure to introduce the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Peter, for that introduction. It's great to be back here in beautiful Kingsville in Essex County alongside Minister Bethlenfalvy, Minister Sakaria, and one of our many local champions, MPP Andrew Dowie. I also want to acknowledge the local MPPs, Anthony Liardi and Trevor Jones, who couldn't be here today, but they've both been amazing champions for this region and for building an expanded Highway 3. They're getting it done here for the people of Windsor-Essex, and thank you. I also want to welcome our local mayors. You know, folks, I always say these projects cannot happen without the local mayors. It's all about a partnership, and you just heard from the great Mayor of Kingsville, Mayor Dennis Rogers, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins, Tecumseh Mayor Gary McNamara, and Essex Deputy Mayor Rob Shepley. Thank you for joining us today. It's great to see all of you, and having so many mayors here is a reminder about how important it is that we all work together to support the people we all serve. It's hard to believe it was almost 2 years ago to the day that I joined Mayor Dilkins to celebrate the $5 billion investment by Stellantis in LG to build the Nextart plant. This plant, Canada's first large-scale electric vehicle battery plant, is a game changer. It's going to create 2,500 good-paying jobs, spurring further growth across the region and across our auto and manufacturing supply chains. Just last December, Bobic America announced its plans to invest $35 million to build a new auto part plant in Windsor. And here in Kingsville, MC3 Manufacturing announced a $6.8 million investment to build its first new facility. While the previous Liberal government chased away 300,000 jobs, we're bringing them back. There's 700,000 more people working today than there was working 5.5 years ago, with better jobs and bigger paychecks. We're rebuilding Ontario's economy. We're rebuilding our manufacturing sector. As the region's economy expands, we need to ensure we're building the infrastructure to keep up with this growth. That's why we're investing in schools, including a $59 million school for right here in Kingsville. So again, Mayor, great job, and our local champions for pushing that new school. We're building a brand new Windsor-Essex hospital. We're building new roads and highways to keep up with the growing demand that we see here and keep people moving and goods moving safely. And today, I'm so pleased to announce that we have officially started work to widen Highway 3 from 2 to 4 lanes between Essex and Leamington. I remember, yes. And I remember when I first got elected, we were talking about it, and this whole region wanted it. I know the previous government ignored it for years. Not only getting goods from point A to point B and people point A to point B a lot quicker, but there was a big safety issue down here. And anyone that's driven Highway 3 would know exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to make sure we're building a safe highway for this community. And I know the community has been waiting for years for this to happen. In the past, I said I'll get on the bulldozer myself. Matter of fact, that backhoe is exactly the same one I have up at the cottage there. If I had to make the Highway 3 expansion, hopping on there, a reality, I said I'd hop on that bulldozer. Well, folks, shovels are in the ground just a few meters away from here. And I gotta, you know, this would not happen with the hardworking women and men that are going to be building the road. I want to give these guys a shout out. They're absolute champions. I think there's some there. There were some behind me, but the guys over there. So thank you. We said we'd get it done, and we're getting it done. Today, we're also announcing, and this is huge. I know Andrew and Mayor Dilkin's been pounding away at this one. We're also announcing a $50 million investment to build a new interchange at Banwell Road and EC Row Expressway in Windsor. And I want to give a big shout out to MPP Dowie and the mayor. They've both been championing this project from day one. And this new interchange is going to improve access to the new hospital and serve as a critical link to the Nexstar facility, helping to stimulate the region's EV supply chain. These investments to widen Highway 3 and to build the Banwell interchange, along with our government support for the interchange connecting Lauzon Parkway to Highway 401, are a big, big win for commuters, for workers and businesses, and for the Windsor-Essex economy. The projects will better connect communities in Windsor-Essex, cut down on commute times, attract more investments, and create more good-paying jobs. We're building the infrastructure Windsor-Essex needs to reach its full potential. Once again, thank you all for joining us. I want to thank the mayors again. We look forward to working with you to build a stronger region and a stronger Ontario. Thank you, everyone, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
We will now go to reporters' questions. Reporters, please line up at the back of the mic behind me. It'll be one question, one follow-up. First question.
Rob Hindy from AM 800. Not sure who wants to answer this, but when will the work start for the interchange?
Well, I'm going to hand that over to the minister. You may know. Yeah.
Thank you very much. You know, just like we're here today at Windsor-Essex, Tecumseh, getting the shovels in the ground on Highway 3. We're just in the process of the design work, and as soon as that's complete, we're going to get shovels in the ground right away. This is a project that we want to get started immediately, just like we have been across the province. Today is another example of us being able to expedite timelines and work with, you know, great partners like Mayor Dilkins and his team. The city has been incredible to work with. Their engineering team, the team at MTO and the government, a great working relationship. So I have no doubt that we'll be getting our shovels in the ground very, very soon on this as well.
You can see when I was driving down Highway 3, they've already staked it all out on that one side. So we're going to get moving as quickly as possible. But thanks for that question.
Premier Ford, I wanted to ask about the review of consumption and treatment sites. That's something a lot of people here have their eyes on, with ours opening just shortly before that review went into place. Wondering if you could shed some light on
Sure.
how that process is going.
Yeah, so in total, we said there'd be 21 sites. We're at 17. There's 4 more to go. It's actually funny you say that. I was speaking in my office today about that. They're going to complete the review, and then we'll be able to get moving on that. But it's important for the community, and if it's important for the community, then we'll get it done. But shouldn't be too much longer.
Travis from CTV News. I wanted to also ask about, today we're 4 years into the pandemic now. I wanted to ask, when you look back on that, what do you see? What have we learned?
Well, you know, what I learned is when we all work together, we put our political stripes to the side, we're unstoppable. I think we did extremely well compared to the rest of the world. everyone pitched in, everyone helped out, from the manufacturers, the healthcare workers, to industry. Everyone did an incredible job. I've never seen anything like it. And the other thing that I learned is, if you want to get something done, and it shouldn't take the pandemic to do it, but everyone moved at lightning speed. Something that might take 2 years to get through government took a month. So that just goes to show you that government can always be more efficient than what it is, all levels of government. But what a Team Ontario approach. It's really incredible.
Taylor Campbell, Windsor Star. Premier, the City of Windsor fell short of housing targets provincially. I'm wondering what your government is doing to ease the way for developers when it comes to red tape to get housing built.
Yeah, well, first of all, full disclosure, I love Mayor Dilkins. I know he's going to do a great job. I think he was at 36%, but I'm confident he's going to hit those targets. As I say, it's easy money. We call it the BFF fund, Building Faster fund. I know he's going to do it. Matter of fact, we need it. With all this development coming, all these the economy booming, he'll get it done. I have confidence, 100% in him.
Premier, if I may ask a question of Mayor Dilkins, I'm just looking for the mayor's reaction to the announcement about the interchange funding and what that means at Bainwell and EC Row for the City of Windsor.
Well, it would probably be no surprise to you that I'm ecstatic about this. This is an intersection that at peak times now, people who live in Windsor or Tecumseh understand the pressure that is there. And us looking forward and for the opening of the battery factory should be fully operational in and around the end of 2026. We know that will add considerable vehicular traffic to that particular area. And so we have about a 2-year schedule to see this work done. It is a massive amount of work. We could not have done this properly without the support of the province. And so I can just say this is one of those things where the Premier talked about an approach of working together. This is exactly what we're seeing here. We raise this as an issue. We know we need to get the work done. And the Premier and Minister Bethlen Falvey said, what can we do for Windsor? And Andrew Dowie was working on this, Anthony and Trevor, everyone was working on this behind the scenes to try and get this on the radar screen to get the support. And so when we received the news that the province was going to give us $50 million towards this project, I'm ecstatic. This is an incredible level of support for a project like this, and it will be amazing to see that intersection completely reconstructed to a point where it now flows properly and helps support that incredible factory that's being built at that corner.
Thanks, Mark.
Hi, Maureen with Blackburn News. Going back to the Building Faster Fund, the City of Windsor was confident they had reached those targets, but the measurements were different than what they were expecting. What is the province doing to make sure that everyone's on the same page so that they can expect what's coming up?
Well, I'm not too sure about the measurement side. All I know is we're handing out checks right, left, and center, so everyone seemed to get the program. There's some hurdles, but we're always there to help these municipalities. I love all the mayors, municipal councillors, and Windsor Essex. They all work together. What an incredible team they are. And as I always say, there's no region in Ontario that we've shown more love to than Windsor Essex. No matter if it's the schools or building highways and off ramps or attracting new businesses, it's really amazing. And with all the these new jobs, there has to be new housing. So we'll help out any way we can. But I couldn't ask for better partners than the mayors and our local MPPs. And I just got to tell the folks there, it is so important to have a voice at the table. And we have loud voices at our table from the Windsor Essex area.
Mr. Premier, Greg Layson, Automotive News.
Hi, Greg.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Your reaction to Stellantis solidifying more production and output in Windsor last week with the potential for another vehicle in 2026?
Yeah, it's just incredible news. I always say when the region, our province and the region, we create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here and thrive and prosper and grow. So do the people that work there. They thrive, prosper, and grow. And then what I love, the spin-off jobs. The additional jobs, they say approximately 7 to 1. So every one job in the auto sector creates 7 more jobs, no matter if it's under construction, if it's construction or retail or more manufacturing, part manufacturers moving in here. to be close to their plant. It's phenomenal. I love the fact that Bloomberg came out and said we've taken over China as the #1 destination for EV battery assembly and auto assembly. Just think of this, folks. We have 6 of the largest auto manufacturers all here, right in Ontario, and we've seen $28 billion of investment in the sector alone, and we have tens of billions of dollars coming hopefully this year. But I'll tell you one thing, it's extremely competitive worldwide, and so far we've been fortunate, and we're going to win these contracts one way or another.
My follow-up to that, and I'm glad you mentioned those billions, because Minister Fedeli has talked about this year being a banner year. Can you give me an update on any talks between the province and Honda for an expansion in Alliston?
Well, Honda's just an incredible company, and we're so fortunate to have them. And we always like working with all the big six, as I say now, auto manufacturers. So no matter if it's Honda or any other auto manufacturer, we're going to make sure that we create the climate and the conditions for them to come here, build vehicles, create jobs, stir the economy. But it's going to be a banner year. That's all I can tell you. I'm really excited. But it can't be done without the support of local regions, local mayors. That's what makes things happen. And I'm just so grateful for all the cooperation, collaboration with the municipalities. I'm really excited, actually. This year is going to be a phenomenal year. Just stay tuned.
Hi there, Premier. It's Chris with CBC Windsor here. A question about what's going on in Chatham-Kent. There's a landfill that's proposed for Chatham-Kent that's had vocal opposition from residents, municipal politicians. Does your government support that project, and if so, why?
You know something? I got to apologize. This is the first I've heard about it. I'm sure Trevor knows all about it. We have a great relationship with the mayor there, and Trevor Jones, our MPP, are just phenomenal representatives. So I have an idea. I'll get back to you on that. I'll sit down and have a chat with them and see if we can get some answers there. But do you know what I believe in? I believe in the people. If people like something, we do it. If they don't, we don't do it. It's about as simple as that. But let's have a chat. There might be other reasons.
Okay, Premier. And just to follow up, when we're talking about highways and infrastructure here, we've heard a loud call from the mayors within the area, Dilkins himself, talking about uploading EC Row Expressway. Is that something that the province is looking at taking on?
Well, we'd sit down and chat with the mayor, but let's have a chat. I'll leave it at that. Okay. I feel like Santa Claus to this mayor. I've given him more presents than anyone in Ontario. They deserve it.
Rob again from AM800. You talked about seeing the work in this area. Have you been out to the next star and where the interchange is going to happen? Have you been able to tour the facility?
No, we're actually going to be heading out that way, so I can't wait. Everyone's calling me from Windsor saying, you should see the size of this place. And just think, it wasn't long ago that we just announced it, and everyone working together and, you know, cutting through the red tape and everything else just makes things move a lot quicker, and time is money. So again, I want to thank everyone for all their cooperation. And what that does, actually, that sends a message around the world. You know, I always say we now are economic powerhouse for sure in North America, but around the world. I don't know if you went to PDAC, the mining conference, one of the largest in the world. There was over 300 countries there for their critical minerals. Like, it's happening here in Ontario, big time, and everyone around the world is talking about Ontario. When I was going to these booths, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. I met ambassadors and consul generals. I remember I went to one booth and I said, "Hi, how you doing?" Doug Ford and this. I said, "And who are you?" He says, "I'm the ambassador of Iraq." And the next one was the Turkey, and then there was like the whole world was there. So, man, we got to keep going and keep focused. So we're blessed. I'll tell you.
Last question.
Sorry, me again here. Just being in Windsor, like you mentioned, you've been getting the phone calls from different mayors and officials. Just the momentum Windsor has right now, Windsor Essex has right now. Are you feeling that across the province?
Oh, I'm feeling it. Everywhere we're going, we have announcements everywhere. We've seen over $28 billion of investment through EV sectors, tens of billions of dollars in the tech sector. We've seen over $3 billion in life sciences. And just think of this, folks. This says everything, because your neighbors, and I love the U.S., by the way, just on the other side of the river, Ontario manufacturers created more jobs than all 50 U.S. states combined last year. Just think of that. Ontario created more manufacturing jobs, or the manufacturers did, than all U.S. states combined. Those are pretty staggering figures. And I give all the credit to the people. So when Vic Fideli's out there, and I think he's going down to Texas to try to land a tech company down there to bring him up. Matter of fact, I think he's going today. It's the people that we saw. It's the quality of the universities and the colleges, the ingenuity of the people. Just think of this. We graduated over 80,000 STEM graduates last year alone. Folks, we're all in this together. We're all doing a great job. And Ontario is now on the map around the world. It's a last safe haven of pro business, pro worker, anywhere, cutting through the red tape. It's staggering. I was so impressed when I went to that mining sector, but I'm seeing it everywhere, from up in the north with the critical minerals, and southwest Ontario down here, and out in eastern Ontario. GTHA is just booming. So everything's going well right now, and that's what you do when you never raise a tax. Think of this: the 5.5 years we're the only government I could ever remember. We've been in politics, our family, for 35 years. We're the only government in history never to raise a tax on businesses or people. We did it through revenue growth. So we've seen over $52 billion of new revenues coming up to Peter Bethlenfalvy's pockets, as I call him. I call him the Ministry of Money, but he loves it, because you have new companies coming in, they're paying taxes. There's 700,000 more people working, they're paying taxes. And that's what happens when you put money into people's pockets. They'll stir the economy. They'll go out for dinner. They'll buy a piece of furniture. They'll put a little addition on. And companies, they all reinvest it into their people, into technology, into new equipment. It's economics 101. It's a no-brainer. And that's why the federal government cannot hike up this carbon tax by 23%. I just don't get them. I just can't figure these guys out. Like, when number one issue on any poll you see is affordability, affordable homes, affordable gas, affordable groceries. And these guys are going to raise it on April 1st. As we reduce it by 10.7 cents, they have 17.5 cents a carbon tax, which is the worst tax ever. Come on, guys, wake up. Put money back into people's pockets instead of the government's pockets. The worst place you can put money is into the government's pockets. Now you got me on a roll. Anyways, folks, God bless you. Thank you. And let's keep moving. Thank you.